Bubble Bath.
Bubble Bath, SpongeBob's #1 hero. He is always shown being rude to SpongeBob and complaining about lots of other stuff.
You forgot the pickle!
But today, I am going to prove that he is the mastermind of SpongeBob and the true villain. Before this video starts, I'm just going to say that all the footage that is in this video I do not own, and the thumbnail, and my entire editing style, and this entire video is inspired by Alex Spale. I want to make SpongeBob theories because he's not making SpongeBob theories anymore, so I'm going to be like the replacement for him. I know it's been like years since he stopped making SpongeBob theories, but now I'm going to start making SpongeBob theories. So put in the comments below about what kind of, because I want to make a SpongeBob theory about every single character. So put in the description, put in the comments of what character you might want to see a theory about. I already got some people that I might want to do, but I want to see your guys' opinion. So let's get into the video. In the episode titled The Pickles, Bulbasaur comes in and orders a really complex burger.
Alan, I'll take a double triple bossy deluxe on a raft, 4x4 animal style, extra shingles with a shimmy and a squeeze, light axle grease, make it cry, burn it and let it swim.
SpongeBob makes it perfectly and hands it to him. Bulbasaur eats it and says his famous line,
You forgot the pickle!
This sends SpongeBob into a spiral.
Mustard, then ketchup, lettuce, then the pickles? No. Mustard down, buttons up, down. Where's the patty go? Pickles, ketchup, wait.
And makes him leave the Krusty Krab for the day, and leaves no one to make Krabby Patties while he is gone. When SpongeBob is ready to make Krabby Patties again, he comes back to the Krusty Krab and makes another patty for Bulbasaur. And once again, SpongeBob forgot the pickles.
Still no pickles!
Then it is revealed that Bulbasaur just put it under his tongue the entire time. When I watched this again recently, I thought it was really weird that he lied about not having pickles. At first, I just thought that it was to get his money back, but after looking more into it, I realized that there was something a lot deeper going on here. Everybody knows that Bulbasaur is always at the Krusty Krab, like here, here, and here. So I was wondering how he gets all his money. He buys hundreds of burgers at a place known for being expensive and having a cheap owner, yet still living in his mom's basement. I thought that this was some big earth-shattering evidence, but until I rewatched the episode Bulbasaur's Tab, when he avoided paying his tab for over a year, but he is still broke, and says he spent it all on cardboard.
I am broke! Verily, I spent all of my money on cardboard.
I still think that this is weird because of how much cardboard there is, and he must be getting his money somehow. But to pay the tab, he's forced to be a janitor for the Krusty Krab, but he does a terrible job and starts ruining people's food. This turns everybody against Mr. Krabs until he says that he needs some way to pay off Bulbasaur's tab. So, they give him a bunch of money.
I'll contribute to that!
I didn't really...
Right when Bulbasaur figures out that his tab is repaid, he turns around and opens up a new tab immediately.
I just opened up a new tab.
The reason he started a new tab was not because he didn't have enough money. It was because if he messes up enough time, he will eventually run the Krusty Krab out of business. But if that is true, why does he exclusively eat there? I thought about this for days. I watched every episode with Bulbasaur in it, and I found one piece of evidence that convinced me to make this theory. In the episode titled Goodbye Krabby Patty, in the entire 20-minute episode, Bulbasaur is only in it for a few seconds. In this episode, they come up with a way to make frozen patties.
Freezer!
And make it super simple for anyone to eat Krabby Patties. This idea skyrockets and makes the entire Krusty Krab obsolete, and makes the patties completely automatic to make. This almost makes SpongeBob lose his job.
Making Krabby Patties.
Oh, no. You've made your last Krabby Patty.
You mean my last one for the morning rush?
No, ever.
You mean my last one for today, ever?
No, I mean forever and ever. You're fired.
Fired?
But I'm ready to rehire you.
Oh, please rehire me.
They make a gift shop in the original Krusty Krab, and they start selling Krabby Patty secret formulas for anyone to buy.
On me. I've got the secret formula, you know.
Anyone can have a secret formula. We sell them in the gift shop.
But there is one side effect. It makes their butt big. And this is when I finally figured it out. If there is one thing Bubble Bass is known for, it's for his big butt. Look at this clip again. They look exactly the same. But why would this even happen? Well, for that we need to look deeper in this episode. In this episode, they say that they need a specific type of person to represent the brand.
The thing is, frozen Krabby Patties are a convenience for everyone, and we need a campaign that says exactly that. We need a regular guy to represent all consumers. Someone everyone can relate to, with a face that says, I love Krabby Patties.
Did you catch it? I'll play it again.
With a face that says, I love Krabby Patties. With a face that says, I love Krabby Patties.
Does that sound like anyone? Yeah, it sounds like Patrick and SpongeBob, but it also sounds a whole lot like Bubble Bass. Everybody in the show loves Krabby Patties. But in this episode, there is a piece of evidence so compelling that I am surprised that no one has made this connection before. Bubble Bass has a mom named Mama Bass, but we never see a dad. In this episode, I think we have the answer. Tell me what the similarities are in these three pictures. Sure, they are all business meetings / business parties, but in every single picture, there is one character. Can you see it? That's right, Richard A. Bottomfeeder. Does he look like anyone that we've been talking about in this episode so far? That's right, Bubble Bass. You can't tell me that they don't look similar. And even if you do say that, they don't even need to look exactly the same, because this is a picture of his mom. So it is entirely possible that Mama Bass and Richard could equal Bubble Bass. And this unlocks the final piece of the puzzle. You might be wondering what this proves. To move forward, we actually have to go back. What do we know about Bubble Bass so far from this video? That he lives in his mom's basement? Yes. That he loves going to the Krusty Krab? Yes. But we also know that he dislikes SpongeBob and wants the Krusty Krab to shut down, and is able to buy stuff but lacks any real income. Does that sound like anybody else in SpongeBob? That's right, Plankton. He dislikes SpongeBob, wants the Krusty Krab to shut down.
Hear me, crabs. When I discover your formula for Krabby Patties, I'll run you out of business.
And is able to buy stuff but lacks any real income.
This is my laboratory!
Bubble Bass has been working for Plankton this entire time. This explains everything that we've been over so far. Why did he hide the pickle under this time? So that to get SpongeBob to quit running the Krusty Krab out of business. How does he afford all this cardboard? Plankton sells the robot that he uses in all of these videos. If you want context to this, check out this video right here. It's by, again, Alex Bale. He's like the master when it comes to SpongeBob theories. I'm sure you already know that. And Bubble Bass then gets a cut of that money. But then why can't he pay the tab? The tab was a big sum of money. Plus, if you wanted a business to shut down, you wouldn't be willing to give them money. And at the end of Bubble Bass's tab, it is also because at the end of that episode, he messes up everybody's food. You can't tell me that this doesn't look intentional. And he wanted everybody to leave by doing that. But he figures out that people just pay off his tab. So he opens up a new tab right after.
I just opened up a new tab.
To try to get everybody to leave again. And I only just realized this after writing the script, but once he gets caught hiding the pickles under his tongue, he does not run back to his home. He runs straight across the street, straight to the charm bucket, to tell Plankton that he failed. But soon after this, Bubble Bass starts being nicer towards SpongeBob, even helping set up his birthday party. But why? If you remember, Krusty Krab becomes a museum, and they start selling formulas for anyone to buy. And I think this was all because of Bubble Bass. Bubble Bass's dad is Richard, who was at every meeting for frozen Krabby Patties. So my theory is that Bubble Bass reached out to his dad after years of not hearing from him, and he asked him for a small favor and offered money if it got done. He asked him to change the formula of frozen Krabby Patties to Bubble Bass's own recipe. We know that it's his recipe because everybody starts having the same butt as Bubble Bass's. Then he asked them to turn Krusty Krab into a museum and make sure that they sell secret formulas. And just like that, Plankton got the formula. But why didn't he use it? Because what Bubble Bass didn't know is that all of them were blank.
See, they're all just fakes.
Soon after Plankton figured out about that, he fired Bubble Bass, and Bubble Bass started hating Plankton. So to get revenge, he switched sides and started being nicer to SpongeBob. Every loose end is tied up, and maybe the show will confront this, and maybe SpongeBob will have a whole new view on Bubble Bass, either good or bad. And that is where the theory ends. Well, goodbye. Wait a second. Why would Bubble Bass even start working for the Chum Bucket in the first place? No. I spent too much time on the series, and I've watched every appearance of Bubble Bass, and the first time that they ever meet is in Pickles, so we just can't solve this series completely. At least not without the spin-off shows. Fine, one last part to wrap things up. I didn't say this, but they must have some history because of this clip.
Bubble Bass.
He says it with some resentment, meaning that they've had to met at some point. And lucky for us, there's two different types of history that we can look at. The Patrick Show, which is not too long ago, and Camp Cool, which is when they were young kids. And once you know it, Bubble Bass is in both. What I have for Camp Coral is that SpongeBob, Patrick, and Bubble Bass did not become the best of friends. For an example, in Camp Crossbones, they steal the Nerds' badges, which has Bubble Bass in it. And in the Patrick Show, there's an episode called Movie Stars, which I think we can use to finally figure out why Bubble Bass is so mean to SpongeBob. In Movie Stars, Bubble Bass steals all of SpongeBob's and Patrick's sausages while waiting in the line for the premiere of Mermaid Run and Barnacle Barnacle, The Bubble Blower's Revenge Part 2. Yes, that is the actual name. Then SpongeBob and Patrick start working for the theater, and Bubble Bass asks for a bag of popcorn and a hint of butter. Patrick ended up overflowing the popcorn bag with butter, and then it exploded all over Bubble Bass. Then they were asked to make the movie feel 3D by throwing rocks during the meteor shower and spraying water during a surfing scene. Then Bubble Bass said he wasn't impressed by the effects before getting run over by a boat. And with all that bullying, if Plankton came to Bubble Bass and said that he could finally get revenge on the people who have been doing him dirty the entire time, it is simple to see why he would take the job. Then when SpongeBob proved to Bubble Bass that he could do some good for once, then they started being friends. But if SpongeBob were to ever find out that he was working for the enemy, then SpongeBob might never see him the same again. And if you think that this is a bunch of coincidences and a stretch, then let me ask you this. Why do you think Bubble Bass is always at the Chum Bucket? Is it to run it out of business? No. Look at this picture, this picture, this picture, this picture, and all of these pictures. He is there so often. And it is because he is spying on SpongeBob. Look at this picture. You cannot tell me that he does not look like he's spying. He is probably looking for weak points in the security cameras. We'll figure out how exactly SpongeBob makes the burgers. And that is the evil Bubble Bass theory. Goodbye. Thank you everybody for watching the evil Bubble Bass theory. When I started researching for this theory, I just thought it was kind of like a silly theory because I said that there was a theory for every SpongeBob character. And my family said, well, what about Bubble Bass? So I was like, I bet I could make a theory about it. And then I looked at Pickles, and then I started looking at Goodbye Krusty Krab, and then I started finding all these connections in places where they shouldn't have been. And then I actually started believing in this theory. I still don't totally believe about everything in this theory, but I think that I was able to find a good amount of connections for a joke theory. And again, I would just like to give a special thanks to Alex Bale, who inspired me to make this series. And Alex, if you're watching this, I have a whole new respect for you now that I've actually took the time to make a theory myself. It takes a lot of research and a lot of just watching a kids show, which sometimes can be torturous. I had to watch Camp Coral, which is kind of torture. Have you heard how Patrick talks in that show? Yeah, so that's all the video. Goodbye.